What do you call everything you just said? What do you call? Ah. Hello my fam and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So for today's video, I am going to be reacting to a video two big YouTube channels that I follow and really enjoy have given their reactions. While their videos have mostly received good feedback, I know, like particularly with the case of Abba and Preach, that they have gotten some negative feedback of, oh, you guys are just being sexist, and well, Graham, he's a guy too. So I thought I would even out the YouTube playing field and give a female perspective on this video. And I think it would be especially interesting to hear my point of view coming from someone who has, to her surprise, been quite spoiled by the men that she has dated. And I'm not talking about him just buying me dinner every now and then, but I'm talking about extreme spoilage. Like, I have experienced a guy buying me an all-expense paid trip across the United States. Hotel, flight, everything was covered for, and I didn't even ask for it. And I've also experienced a guy, he was having this gift being made for me that he would soon have shipped to California because he wanted to give it to me. So coming from those kinds of experiences, among others, I thought it would be great to also give my perspective on this. And by the way, in a very important note, which will probably determine how I react to this video, these are with men that I was serious about. These are with men that I genuinely really liked or loved. These weren't some guys that I was planning to get something out of. These were people that really found a place in my heart. Anyway, so let's jump into the video.
Hey best friends, let's jump right into this juicy girl talk video. How to get a guy to spend money on you, sis.
That energy.
Number one is test him. Why do you want to test him? Because you want to make sure that he's the spending money on you type. Some guys, you see them, you know, with their nice cars and they spend money on Rolexes and money on their outfits and stuff. And you know, they balling out of control. That doesn't mean that he's going to spend money on you. Some guys, you know, like to spend money on themselves and themselves only. And if you bring it up to them, you know, about spending money on you, they're going to flat out call you a gold digger. This is my money.
On that first point, she just has to be real. If before dating a guy, you have to look if he's the type to spend money on you, if that is the goal, and if he ends up calling you a gold digger, you are a gold digger. What other type of personality suits this description?
So the first thing you want to do is, like, you know, start a conversation like this. Like, oh my gosh, it's the first of the month already. Like, I feel like I hardly ever have money to myself. I'm always paying all these bills. Oh my God, so on.
Okay, we're not gonna let her finish her points. I get that this video, its objective is to teach you how to get a guy to spend money on you. At the same time, coming from the perspective of someone who believes you should be in a relationship for the right reasons, I don't think there's anything wrong with having standards. If you don't want to date a guy who can't hold down a job, that's fine and that's practical. Go, do you, girl. But yeah, like cutting her off right when she said that you should say, oh, it's the first of the month, by the way, honey, and her kind of being so against a guy potentially calling her a gold digger, like, what else do you call that? Continuing.
If he's the type to spend money on you, he's gonna be like, brr, babe, that's crazy. Like, wait, how much do you pay? How much is your rent? Oh, it's $1,500. All right, well, I'm gonna give you the $1,500 when I see you later on today.
Damn, girl. I guess you gotta give her some props for being able to get some guy to spend like her $1,500 rent.
But if he turns around and says, yeah, that's crazy, yo, I hate being adult. Damn, like, I'm sorry to hear that. Like, you got bills? Like, like, pretty much, you know, that's a code word. That's a code word for, like, I don't got money like that. You know what I'm saying? That straight out the gate shows you what kind of man you're dealing with.
I don't like how she said that just shows what kind of guy you're dealing with. If he reacts the natural way that I think most people would, out of empathy that, oh God, that really sucks, yeah, adulting, And just because his natural response isn't to pay your goddamn rent, which is like your responsibility, the way that she speaks, it's as if he's like useless. I mean, I guess he's useless in not being the guy to spend money on you, sure, but it feels like she's saying like he's like just useless as a man. Ugh, he's like one of those lower men who won't spend money on me. That does not tell you anything about a guy's character or that he's not a great guy just because he won't pay your goddamn rent.
Then girl, you got yourself a good one. You got yourself a little, I don't want to say sugar daddy, okay? Because when I say
he is a sugar daddy, I don't know if she's like in denial about this whole strategy with men. We'll see.
How to get a guy to spend money on you. I'm not talking about like, because I've never been a sugar baby. I never use guys.
And I think it's so rich that she said, I never use guys. What do you call everything you just said? What do you call? For her to like just start saying this, wow, like what irony, what freaking irony. So this is what I mean. I don't know if she just genuinely is tone deaf to her own intentions, because I mean there are people who like lack self-awareness, that's the thing. Oh god, this video is stressful and we're just at point 1. Help.
You know, to be my sugar daddy. This is your significant other, like your future husband.
Okay, that ending of point 1 just makes it so much worse. I think it's one thing if you, like, it would have been better if she was teaching you how to be a sugar baby, to be honest, because at least then and there it's like a clear transaction, like, here's me, youthful, pretty girl, here's for my time, give me money. I think it's so much worse that she says in the end, and by the way, we're talking about your significant other, like, this is a guy you want to marry. Oh my god, I think this is such a terrible attitude to have when searching for love. Oh.
I know for myself, like, that's one of my deal breakers. Like, I can't be with a guy that thinks it's a problem to spoil his girl, that thinks it's a problem, like, every time I ask for something.
This statement, I feel, I see the point, but then she speaks again, and then I'm like, no. I don't think it's wrong for any woman to have an attitude of, I like being treated here and there. If you guys are in a happy, harmonious relationship, and you genuinely, you know, like to have nice things on an anniversary, or, you know, a special occasion, anybody wouldn't not want something nice. And I don't even mean not necessarily like buying you something grand, but I don't know, just treating you every once in a while. I think that's nice for any relationship. But then she goes and says, if every time I ask for something then he gets mad. So again, I think it's fine if it's like for a special occasion, but if you have the attitude of every time you ask he needs to kind of just be willing to like pay up. What pisses me off the most is this is supposed to kind of be like a dating advice video. This is just straight up manipulation. How to be a sugar baby and get away with it. This is not advice you should be following if you want a genuine, real relationship.
You know, like, damn, you know what I'm saying? There's this quote that says, if you're in a relationship and you're struggling, then sis, you're single. And I couldn't agree with that post. Like, oh my god, I love that post so much.
I think that quote, if you are in a relationship and you are struggling, I feel like it can be applicable in some specific situations. I guess if you're like with someone and you're just constantly unhappy, that kind of struggling is definitely like, yeah, you're single and not in a happy relationship. But what about in situations where you and a guy both have a dream that you're aspiring to achieve? What happens when you and a guy just got out of college, and of course, what about that type of struggling? Does that mean that you're single in a relationship just because a guy can't spoil you? That doesn't determine how good a relationship is. There are plenty of rags to riches relationships where the girl was with him, like, hasn't she ever seen those where like the guy had nothing and with the girl in 5 years, 10 years later, they had everything, and like the guy was thankful for having someone who was with him through it all? Has she not seen any of those love stories? Questions.
I make my own money, and as women, we should make our own money, but we should be able to have men to, like, you know, if times get hard, like, all right, babe, here you go, babe, you need $100.
I think it's so interesting that then she goes on to say, by the way, I have money, and, but you know, like, but we sometimes just need a man who's like gonna... I think it's just such an interesting contrast that she puts time into getting guys to spend money on her when she's already making so much money. I'm just thinking, wouldn't she kind of not need a guy to spend money on her because she's making so much? Don't you think that would be like the least of her qualifications, because she's making all that money? Unless it's all the money from the guy.
Yeah, $100, here you go, here's drink 20. Here.
Who just hands out $100? These standards, man.
Number 2 is go on dates that are nearby shopping centers. I was going out with this guy, and when he asked me one time where you want to go, and I said, yeah, I want to go to this, you know, seafood restaurant, whatever. And because I knew that it was across the street from like the mall.
I should not expect any better from the rest of this video.
And he said, what you want to do after? Just like I thought he would say. And I was like, oh, you know, the mall is up the block. We could walk around the mall. As we were walking around the mall, he was like, you want anything? Cha-ching! Of course I want something. I want this, I want this.
It's like she hit the jackpot, which I mean, I guess, but okay, cool girl.
Lo and behold, girl, he took me shopping, okay? We went shopping, we had a good time, and I really, really enjoyed that. Like, that made me look at him differently. Like, oh, like, you husband is...
That made me look at him differently. The fact that the guy has money, it really doesn't dictate everything. It really, really doesn't. There are so many rich douchebags in this world. She's acting as if this is, like, such... I mean, I guess for her, it's her make or break, but girl, ugh, help her.
Because I always look at every guy I date as, can he be like my husband and stuff like that? Because, you know, that's one of the things I look for in a husband. Like, I feel like stability is so sexy.
See, this was kind of going back to my first point. I think for her, that financial stability is such a huge determining factor. And I kind of just feel a little bad for her, because if you have that as one of the bigger reasons why you're with a guy, you're missing out on so much. What if he is rich, but what if he's like a total tyrant at home? What if he's abusive verbally and physically? Money is a factor, sure, but I think if that is 50% of your motivation to marry a guy, you could potentially get in a lot of trouble. Money truly isn't everything. 3 is make him feel good for spending money on you. If you make a guy feel good for spending money on you, sis, he's gonna spend more money on you. So example is like, let's say he took you shopping, like, oh my God, thank you, baby. Like, I really appreciate it. Like, you're so different from the other dudes I date. Make him feel good. You know what I'm saying? Make him feel good. Tell him thank you. I don't want to say sleep with him. You know what I'm saying? Because that's like, you know, like he did this for you, so you gotta sleep with him. I'm not telling you ladies to sleep with him, but if he's your man, like, make him feel extra special that night. You know what I'm saying? We all know what she's talking about. It's interesting. It's like she looks down at people who would, like, for example, Abba and Preach made a good point out of this. At least it's sex worker. There's a clear exchange. You're buying a service. With her, what she's doing is kind of holier than thou. I think what she's doing is even worse. It's pure manipulation. She's getting something out of it. I just feel bad, like, especially if she was with some guy who genuinely really loved her, liked her. All of this, if she applies it to some innocent guy, it's all really terrible. And like what she's saying, make him feel special. You should definitely make any person that you care about, or if they gave you something, even if it's not monetarily, or they give you their time, or they gave you some guide, maybe they bought you food or whatever. I think, yeah, you should make these people feel appreciated. Who doesn't want to feel appreciated? But I think it's just so dark because in her video, it is coming from the point of view of not to make a person really feel appreciated out of the, in a wholesome way, but it's out of the point of make him feel appreciated, because then he'll buy you more. Then he'll spend more money on you. Joy.
Sis, if it's his birthday, it's Christmas, or Valentine's Day, you could spend $200 on like a cologne for him. You know what I'm saying? Or his favorite sneakers to show he's appreciated. Once he feels like he's appreciated, he's gonna want to shower you with gifts upon gifts upon gifts.
Well, thank God she has some redeemableness to her, but it really just is out of what can she get afterwards.
Don't be spoiling no man that ain't spoiling you. All right, stop doing that. You know, that's a quick way for a guy to use you.
Like how you're using him.
Once a guy knows that he can get this out of you, he's gonna, you know, you give guys an inch, they take a mile. So make sure that he does it first, then you can slowly do it. 4 is don't abuse his money, or he will catch on and cut you off.
He should. I hope he does. For the good men in the world. be smart.
Now, I'm sad to say, but I know this from experience.
There you go. She practically admitted to her criminal record. Oh, girl.
I don't care. I mean, I do care because the money stopped coming. But I remember, like, this guy, like, and taking shopping all the time, and literally like every week we would just go. And one day, and I was like, oh, I think we should go to this outlet, you know, this Saturday. He was like, oh, yeah, I don't think I could do that, or I don't even think I could go out with you anymore. I'm like, why? And he's like, oh, because I have a girlfriend now. He probably didn't even have a girlfriend. I feel like it's because like I abused it. Like he was spending like $1,000 like almost every week.
Jesus Christ. You know, this girl, what she does could be a movie. The ultimate con woman or something. She's clearly good at it.
Number 5, how to get a guy to spend money on you. Number 5 is pull out your wallet first and act as if you're going to pay. If he's a spending money on you type, he's gonna be like, what are you doing? No, babe, I got.
If any other point of the video, it was kind of like, maybe she's not being manipulative. Yeah, this video really should have just been titled, How to Manipulate a Guy to Spend Money on You.
Maybe you guys are at a store and you're shopping and you're too nervous to ask him. You're gonna know once you hit the cashier, okay? Once you hit the register, bring all your clothes, but make sure that it's items that you can afford.
Why do I kind of hope that that's happened a lot, where she actually ended up paying? I hope that's happened a lot to her.
That's how you do it, ladies. That was my 5 tips on how to get a guy to spend money on you. I hope you enjoyed this video.
All right, so there you go. That was my reaction to this video. And well, for the gals out there who are now like, well, then what do? I don't want to be a manipulative biatch, but I do know that I want some guy who will spoil me every now and then. What am I supposed to do? Well, here is my advice in a nutshell. Again, as someone who has had men be quite generous towards her. So first, I would say good job for being aware of what you want. The last thing you want to be is in denial. Like, maybe you don't actually want a relationship. Maybe you just want a guy's money. So it's good to know which side of the spectrum you stand. Do I just want a guy for his money, or do I want love with a guy who will spoil me every now and then? So now that we've established that you're in this category, well, now that you know what you want, let it go. Just let it go. And until you meet a guy you genuinely like, genuinely love, learn to be your own goddamn fucking sugar daddy. It's 2020, ladies. We are all more than capable of making our own coin, of providing for ourselves. Let us never, ever, ever goal to be financially dependent on any guy. So definitely take care of that first. Then I'd say, after being a boss babe of your own life, if the stars align, you meet someone great, you really like him, or you even end up loving him, just be good to him. Just be good to him. And don't be good to him because you know you want something after all of your goodness. Cut that shit, okay? Stop watching the video I just reacted to. Stop. And just be a good person to him. I think a lot of the things we experience in life are a reflection of how we are on the inside. So if he's a good guy and you're good to him, I think inevitably good things will happen in your relationship. So that's where I conclude my video, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. If you agree with the things that I had to say, let me know in the comments below. If you disagree, well, I'm sure you'll let me know. Please do subscribe if you want to see more content like this. I'll be dropping 1 to 2 videos every week. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great day.